Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome back to the online portal now. Let us continue our lesson in history. Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution. So now Russian Revolution has provided the world the idea of socialism. So here socialism, the idea of socialism provided by Russian Revolution, we'll learn about. First, we have learned about liberals. Now today we'll talk about radical and conservatives. So now this is all about radicals and this is conservative. This is a different type of societies, variations during 18th and 19th century. In the 18th century, the rules and regulations were very strict. But during the 19th century, the world has seen a lot of change. Now let us talk about. We'll talk about radicals. Number one. We are doing 1.1. Radicals wanted a nation. They wanted a nation, a country, in which government was formed and based on the majority of the country's population. Majority of the country's population. According to that, a government must be formed. A constitution must be made. Many supported women's voting rights. Previously, liberals, they never provided voting rights to the women. Women were considered as passive citizens. But radicals, they supported women's voting rights. Now, third, unlike liberals, unlike means not like. Unlike liberals, they oppose the privileges, facilities of great landowners. They oppose the privileges, facilities enjoyed by the great landowners and wealthy factory owners. During 17th and 18th century, we have learned in French Revolution also, the wealthy class, the first and second class, they were wealthy, aristocrats. They enjoyed privileges. They never had to pay the tax. Though they were rich, great landowners, wealthy factory owners, they never paid the taxes. Why? Because they belonged to the first and second class. Only the member of the third class paid the taxes. We have learned in French Revolution. Here, unlike liberals, liberals always supported landowners and wealthy factory owners. But radicals who wanted total change, they oppose the facilities enjoyed by great landowners and factory owners. They were not against the existence of private property. They were not against the private property, but dislike concentration of property in few hands. They wanted that the property, all the people must possess property, not only few persons. The concentration of property, private property, not in the few hands, but all the people must possess property. So radicals oppose this. They are not against the existence remaining of the private property or people having the private property. They are not against that. But only thing they wanted that all the people must possess. Whether first, second, third class, whether liberals, conservative or radicals, all must. Not only in a few hands. So they dislike concentration of property in the hands of a few. So these are the ideals followed by radicals. These are a different type of group of society. Now we'll talk about conservatives. We have finished liberals, radicals, these are all radical, and conservatives. Conservative, you know, we have learned before also a little bit. Conservative wanted that old order, old system must be preserved and saved. no change should take place. Conservatives. Conserve means save, protect. So conservatives were opposed to liberals and radicals. Conservatives did not believe, they do not believe the ideals of radicals and liberals. They have their own ideals. After French Revolution that took place in France, after French Revolution, the idea of democratic rights, liberty and sovereignty and rights is spread all over Europe, and even in Russia the idea reached all over. So after French Revolution, some conservatives had opened up their minds to the need for some change. After understanding the revolution, after knowing, getting the ideas from French Revolution, some of the conservatives in Russia or other parts of the European countries, some conservatives, they began to think, no, some new ideas have to be introduced, some changes must take place. So they open up their minds to the need for some change. According to the changing times, something has to be, some changes has to be made. By 19th century, they believe that some change has to be made. So by 19th century, till 18th century, they were very strict. They opposed liberals and radicals. They never followed their ideals. But by 19th century, after the French Revolution, they accepted, some conservatives, many conservatives, not some, many conservatives accepted that some change was inevitable. Some change has to be made, or some changes have to be made. Because the world is changing, the ideas are spreading, and some changes have to be made. So some changes are inevitable, cannot be avoided. But they believe that no, there should not be all of a sudden change. The change has to be made slowly. A slow change should take place. But believe that the past had to be respected, the past has to be protected, or had to be respected, not has, had to be respected and protected, and change had to be brought about through slow process. You cannot change the society, the ideals of the society all of a sudden. Conservatives, they believed that change is inevitable, changes had to be made very slowly, and as well as the past had to be respected, the past had to be protected. Some changes are inevitable, that cannot be avoided. You need to change according to the changing times. You need to change your ideals. You need to change the ways a society functions. But it has to be brought, the change has to be brought slowly. So the radicals, slowly you see that they also, their mindset has changed a little bit. After the French Revolution, their way of thinking also changed slowly. So these are about the liberals, radicals and conservatives. Now, these changes have seen not only in Russia but in other parts of European countries, and these ideas also traveled or passed on to the other countries around the world. Socialism. From Russian Revolution we have learned socialism. What is socialism? So in our next class we'll talk about, after liberals, radicals and conservatives, we'll talk and learn further. Then we'll go to the next part. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening and going through attentively. You have paid attention. Thank you very much, and go through online portal every day. Make a habit. It doesn't take long time, 5-10 minutes, 10, 20, 10 to maximum 14-15 minutes, not more than that. Because if it is lengthy, then you may not like it. So it's short but to the point, and it will help you to understand as well as remember. So thank you very much. We'll meet you in the next class. Thank you for watching.